All right, guys, it looks like gold is up and silver is down today. Gold is up about 0.10%, silver down about 0.26%. And guys, we got a lot of data today that really is starting to play out here in the prices of these metals. And we've seen it, we've seen the story kind of progress over the last few weeks, but now that we got this new monthly data, particularly coming in backward looking in July, things are really starting to play out as far as my hypothesis about this near-term weakness here in the global economy. Now, obviously, with that weakness, we start to see gold perform better during those times and silver perform not as great. So let's talk about what we're seeing. Growth of the economy basically continues to slow as gold prices are edging up and silver's going down. And we also start to see it play out in other commodities. But let's see exactly what happened, because here you can see on the screen at around the 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time period, gold just shot up and silver didn't follow suit. It shot up a little bit, but basically continued to have some weakness. So what exactly held silver back? Well, we generally are starting to see some fear take place. Now, again, I hate using Market Watch because it kind of slows down my computer. But as you can see here, the US 10-year Treasury note yield is at 1.155. And let's see if we can take a look at that graph to show you exactly how it started to behave around that same time. Basically, there is some general downside movement here, but around the 10 a.m. time, again, we start to see it fall off of a cliff. So then you might start asking, what exactly happened at 10 a.m.? Well, I'll show you. So the ISM manufacturing PMI data came out and it declined to 59.5 in July versus the 60.9 expected reading. So it actually missed expectations. Now, that to me is a little worrisome to a degree in the short term, particularly just showing slowing growth. It doesn't really bother me too much in the long term. Basically, if we're in the high 50s, low 60s, we're technically still in an expansion as far as growth is concerned. However, things are slowing down way more than how they were looking in prior months. Now, here's some information from the ISM report that I'll show you here in this highlighted area. Business Survey Committee panelists reported that their companies and suppliers continue to struggle to meet increasing demand levels. As we enter the third quarter, all segments of the manufacturing economy are impacted by near record long raw material lead times, continued shortages of critical basic materials, rising commodity prices, and difficulties in transporting products, worker absenteeism, short-term shutdowns due to part shortages and difficulties in filling open positions continue to be issues limiting manufacturing growth potential. So that's the United States. Now, take a look at some of these commodities prices in this reading, as far as what commodities did well and what commodities didn't. I'm going to show you right here. Obviously, we have a bunch that rose up in price, but take a look at what actually is down in price. Now, for those of you who are savvy and have been watching my channel for some time, this will be flashing red lights in your mind. You have a lumber and you have copper. And I've talked about this before, but what exactly, I'm trying to move this mic closer. What exactly are those commodities representative of geographically? I always say that copper is a nice clue, a nice read into China, as China buys about 50% of the global supply of copper. So it's a nice clue into what's happening within that country. Lumber is pretty much the same thing when it comes to the United States. So we're seeing some slowing growth in the United States, lumber prices are down. We're seeing copper prices are down. So what does that tell you about China? Well, if you take a look at the Chinese manufacturing PMI, this is where things get a little bit scary. It fell to 50.3 in July 2021 from 51.3 in June. We are getting dangerously close to sub 50 levels of PMI here for China. Why is that important? Because we could be getting very close to recessionary activity here within China. Now, obviously, that's an issue here within the Western world because we rely on China to make our products. So if China has some weakness, that will spell continued weakness for us in the future. Let's take a look at what we're seeing here as far as the manufacturing PMIs that came out country by country and region by region here in the IHS manufacturing PMI. So as you can see here, this is a nice little graph of the strong performers and the weak performers. So here, the Netherlands, Germany, and Austria outperformed the United States. The Eurozone as a total was right below the United States, and the UK is doing pretty well. So the Western world is pulling in pretty strong, and the world PMI is tucked below them. However, India is below the world's PMI, not by much. China is all the way down here, dancing on a knife's edge, with Russia also lower as well. So China has yet to show recessionary activity and weakness in PMI, but its trajectory is heading downward. Again, that's not a good thing for the global economy. Let me show you what the trajectory looks like here. So we were going up a little bit and then we reverted and we fell off a cliff here in July. Now you may ask, well, why exactly did that happen? Well, here in the IHS website through Trading Economics, we saw that the Delta variant is currently having an outbreak here in the Nanjing region of China. And apparently that occurred after some airport workers cleaned a plane that arrived from Russia. And again, Russia is experiencing some weakness here in PMI. There's Russia right down there. So what exactly is going on in Russia? You guessed it. Strong cases here, very high cases here relative to where things were in late December in the vid. So things are not looking good in Russia. And it looks like, unfortunately, some things are spreading in China. And again, if China's weak, that means that there could be some potential whipsaw effects here happening in the United States and the Western world because of that. And overall, what that means is that we should expect to see gold prices continue to strengthen and silver prices and other industrial metals continue to display some level of short-term weakness. But guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. A lot of data, but I appreciate you watching. Thanks again for watching.